Yo, what's happening? This is the first episode of Red Lions, the Lion's Den film reviews. Pretty pissed right now, I'm not gonna lie. But what we're gonna do is every month we're gonna review a new film that's come out. We're gonna kick off this one with the Conjuring 2. I can't lie, I am completely shitting my pants. Not a big fan of horror films. I watched the first one like this. So for the second one's not that bad. Nick's taught me into doing this.
Yeah.
In case you don't know who I am, by the way, I go by the name of Antony. This is Nick E.Dixon. Yeah, go on. It's your film, this, so I'll let you do a bit of talking on this one while I eat my bread roll.
Okay, so basically my biggest concern is films, horror films like today aren't really that scary. I can't remember the last scary horror film that I've ever watched. What was the last scary film that you watched?
Conjuring 1. I'm not a big fan of them. I get scared at some scenes in Batman.
Alright, fair enough. The scariest film that I watched, the last one, has to be something like The Grudge. You know, when kind of the American version did it. I watched the Japanese version, it was terrifying. And even when Sarah Michelle Gellar did The Grudge,
Yeah.
It was still terrifying for me. It was horrible. That was the last scariest film I ever saw. Everything else apart from then hasn't really been scary. The Conjuring 1, for me, was kind of spooky, but it wasn't that scary. So I'm looking to kind of see a
Get
film.
the fear factor back.
Yeah, get a fear factor back. Go when I go home. I want to be terrified to kind of turn off the lights. That's the kind of fear that I want.
So you scared this could potentially be the next, was it Babadook that he was really looking forward
Let's
to?
not talk about the Babadook.
Yeah, he's really looking forward to that kind of plot. I'm just hoping it's a comedy, to be honest. The less horror, the better for me.
So The Conjuring follows two main actors. It follows Ed and I think her name's Lorraine Warren. These are two paranormal investigators. It's based in the 1970s, so the 70s version of the Ghostbusters, as it were. They go to a farmhouse to investigate paranormal investigations with the family, and all shit breaks loose. And this is a shit that breaks loose that terrified Briggs. So we find ourselves back with the same couple.
Is it based at the same house?
Not the same house. No, it's a different.
Right.
It's a different thing at the moment. It's based in England now.
Ooh.
I know, right?
He's trying to give me an heart attack here. What?
England.
So it's not only based around the corner from your house. It's also a horror film.
Exactly. It's based around the corner from your house, so it's closer to you. It's closer to you. Who's going to get you?
I'm not going to say much until I've watched it.
My thoughts on this film: it's got some really good reviews. IMDb have scored it 8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes 77%, I think. Loads of people are going off the hook about this, and at the same time, it's got a couple of people shaken. Apparently, a couple of things have happened to folks after they've seen it.
This isn't making it any better for me.
Mate, it's fine. It's fine. It's not horrible things. Like one guy in India, for example, had heart percussions and watching the film and then disappeared. How scary is that? How scary is that? That's not scary at all. Another couple.
Could I watch the Avengers again?
We could actually, because it's an awesome film. It is an awesome film, but no, we're going to watch this. Another couple went to their apartment, and the girlfriend swore blind that she saw a crucifix in the mirror until the boyfriend went in there and actually took a picture of it. He swore it wasn't him.
No, I don't want to watch it.
I'm hoping that some serious shit goes down from this. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping I go home and I see some
I'm hoping I walk
shit.
out, that was a disappointment. To be honest, if someone jumps out of a wardrobe, I'm done with anyway. I'm going home. This is why I don't like horror films, because it's too real for me. It's inside of here.
What do you reckon you're going to see at this one?
Hopefully my hand, just for the whole 90 minutes or whatever it is on for. But I'm looking forward to it. It's been a while since I watched a good horror film anyway.
I'm probably hoping to see some James Wan, typical suspense building, fear acting. You know, I'm hoping to see something where you're going to go, oh, there's nothing going to shock you then, and boom, and you're like, ah, and then it's over. I'm expecting to hear you scream. If you don't scream during this film, I'm going to be really
I just want to see cars, fast cars, and The Rock.
No, mate, no, you don't. That's another James Wan film we won't talk about.
The best film.
Right, we're going to see how Briggs reacts after this. I'm really looking forward to this.
I'm not. Speak to you in a bit. Bye. Can we watch something just decent? You know, Captain America or Zootology or something like that. Just something simple. No, Nick has to pick the Conjuring 2, doesn't he?
You get to pick the next one.
Yeah, that's the deal. I get to pick the next one.
Alright.
So that's the view at the Larison. What's happening? Tickets approved. Nick's taught me into this. If I die, I love my 2 children and my wife. Well, my future wife. I love my mum. I've heard a lot of people having heart attacks watching this. I'm gonna go and have a poo before I watch it, I think. Because I don't want to poo myself while I am watching it. Screen 8. Conjuring 2. Let's go. So yeah, I just watched The Conjuring 2. I screamed at one point, really, really loud.
At one point, he screamed. Do you know what he said? Literally on the first jump scare, he said, "Oh, fuck this!"
Which made a group of 15-year-old girls burst out laughing.
Yeah, behind us, a group of 15-year-old girls laughed at him in the cinema. I knew it was going to be funny. I didn't think it would be that funny.
To be fair, I don't think it wasn't as scary as I think I built it up to as too high. Yeah, there was a lot of jump scares on it, but as far as actual horror, I thought it was good. It was just a good watch. It was an easy watch.
It was. So basically, it's the same guys. I think they did a lot more of the actual scaring side of things. So they focused a lot on the family by themselves before the investigators came
Yeah, they
in.
built the whole relationship with the family first, didn't they?
Yeah, and they kind of brought in the tension really well in this. It was really good. James Wan did exceed himself. I think as kind of horrors go, everything was quite perfect. In one of the opening shots, he did the typical single one shot kind of pan of the family living their normal life, which kind of echoes the single shot he does in the first one. If you remember, the camera goes through the family, and then the girl's playing with the dog, and then it goes into the garden, and you see the girl on the swing, and it walks around, and all those things. So he kind of mimicked that one again in this, which I thought was really well done. Starts by going through like a gap in the door, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it
it goes over, round the table.
Yeah.
Back out was really nicely done. I thought it was quite well shot, the whole thing. Typical horror grading, so the blues, the greens. It's quite creepy, especially the basement, the way they built the basement set with the old wooden beams.
Yeah.
As soon as you seen it, nothing happened. Straight away you knew at some point in this film this place was going to be pivotal.
But at the same time, actually, one of the things I thought brought the realism in this film was the fact that if you look at the house, it doesn't look like a really creepy house. If you looked at it, like a lot of the shots during the day and stuff, it just looked like a normal house, like a normal kind of 70s build.
Yeah, like it could be you.
Yeah, it could be you. It could be any house on the street. And it was only when it was night time, obviously, so those kind of the enhancements of the blues and things came out, to kind of emphasise the darkness.
Yeah, it was very British, wasn't it? So it was very grey.
Yeah.
I like the fact it was kind of just like an estate house, wasn't it? It wasn't a manor in the middle of a woods or
absolutely
nothing creepy. It was just a normal council house.
Yeah.
Run down, no wallpaper. All the plastering was melted on the wall.
Yeah. You could tell they were kind of strapped for cash and stuff, but it doesn't look like. But if you looked at that house and kind of it panned over that house, and you said, okay, what film or what production would be set in this house? You'd say something like "This is England," or you'd say something like "Shameless." You wouldn't say it would be set for a horror movie.
No, exactly.
And I thought that the fact that they made it into a horror film, they used these kind of aspects that we expect from kind of a lower class kind of family. And they twisted it and made it actually something that's quite scary.
Yeah.
Was really good. It was good on James Wan's part. I think he really did well on that.
I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah.
So it wasn't, like I say, it wasn't as scary as I thought. I thought I was going to be in for an absolute nightmare of a scream fest. But I think that was just me building it up in my head a bit too much than what I thought it was going to be.
The whole of the introduction, it was just like this.
I think I jumped twice, but 3 times. Sorry. The last time I jumped was right near the end of the film. Obviously, I'm not going to ruin anything for anyone, but there's a revealment of something, and I think my brain hit the roof and come back down. Everyone in the cinema screamed at one point. I can understand why people have had heart attacks, because it is a very jumpy film. It's not gore. It's not like Poltergeist haunting. It's more jump, like you think something's going to happen. James Wan's really good at building the tension, and then nothing happens, and then you think, oh, what's just happened there? And 2 minutes later, she'll turn around, something will jump out.
Yeah.
That's what really got me most of the time, anyway. I thought it was a good film. I thought the story was told well. Wasn't too keen on the big CGI.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. No, it's not really a spoiler, because
Some of the CGI in it was
yeah, one of the revealments of one of the characters is very CGI. I don't think there's a bit where it pushed the young lad through the door, and it just didn't look real. But that's just me being picky and picking little things I didn't enjoy about it. If you don't like horror films, it's a good watch. It's not, it's not chainsaws, guts coming out. It's not gore. It's more. I think it's better. I think that'd be better in the cinema. I think if you watch that at home, I don't think I'd have jumped as much.
Yeah. Watch it by yourself at home.
Yeah, you can watch it by yourself, enjoy it, turn it off, cry yourself to sleep. Yes, it was a good film. The acting was very good. Vera Farmiga, who plays Lorraine, what's her surname? Lorraine Warren, that's it. You probably know her from Bates Motel. If you watch Bates Motel, she plays Norma Bates. She was quite strong. You can tell she's done obviously horror acting before with Bates Motel. She didn't have to say a lot. It was the facial expressions, the mannerisms which built tension around that character. So even she has this, I wouldn't say a power, she has abilities, doesn't she? But she was very believable with it.
Yeah, on the kind of flip side of the coin, I think Patrick Wilson, who played Ed Warren, had a kind of a similar premise, but it didn't really work for his character. So he was quite misty-eyed and was quite subdued. Yeah. And when he's delivering lines like, "Oh, I'm just really pissed off," it's like you don't seem pissed off, do you? You seem quite calm.
Yeah, he's very deadpan.
Yeah, exactly. Really deadpan. There's no real emotion to it. He was the only character that like his actions were you could believe, but when he opened his mouth, you didn't believe a word that came out of it. Really, he was the only one that kind of drew you out of it, and I think that was a lot in the first one. I think Patrick Wilson for me was the thing that kind of ruined it a little bit. I don't think his acting is strong enough to kind of pull off the character.
The young girl who played the possessee, I'll say. Apologies, I don't know who she is. I've never seen her in a film before, but she was very, very strong. I won't be surprised.
She was great.
I won't be surprised to see her in more horror films. To be honest, she was great. Facial expression, everything was down to a T, especially when she was possessed by the character. She was very believable. It wasn't overly forced. There's a lot of little Easter eggs in there as well. They start with the Amityville story. You see a bit of Annabelle as well, so there's a load of little Easter eggs. It kind of ends. I'm not going to obviously tell you what the story is, but the end scene is where this film kind of ends is the same as the first one. So it's in the room with props and stuff they've got from other cases. So whether that's a little Easter egg there for what number 3 may potentially be, we don't know. But I'm sure the spiral thing, is it the Crinkle Man? Was it called?
Oh yeah, the creepy.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen that at the end of number 1, just as an ornament.
It's not the same thing. It's the thing that it's fairly similar, but it's like a little merry-go-round that they watch. And if you remember, like the lead character, she looks in it and then she sees the eye coming at the back of it. Yeah, it's a kind of same thing though. James Wan likes those stuff. He invented the jigsaw puppet.
Ah.
Yeah, so he likes all that. Playgroundy merry-go-round.
Because the way the first one ended, it introduced Annabelle, didn't it? So it opened the story of Annabelle. I was impressed. I don't know if there'd be a number 3. I don't really know. You could really do anything, couldn't it? They could go to any sort of.
Yeah. Realistically, they could. They could. I mean, She said, out of all the stories that of all the kind of the hauntings and jobs that she's done, this one was scared her the most. So, what she could really say about the third one? Remember the one I said that scared me the most? Well, actually, there was another one now that I remember that's even scarier. Yeah, it's not going to really work. I thought this was good. Do you reckon this was better than the first one?
Yeah, I liked the first one. I just thought it had a few too many holes in it. I thought the story on this one was a bit smoother. Kind of flowed nicely. I like the fact it started with Amityville and went through. I'd say it was better than the first one. Yeah. How about yourself?
I thought it was really good. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed you being scared by it. It didn't really scare me too much, but I enjoyed everyone else jumping.
Didn't scare Nick too much. At some point in the film, he vanished. Nowhere to be seen.
I thought everything was really good though. Once again, in typical horrors, it's usually what you don't see that scares you the most. Like Greg said, one of the kind of main villain reveals in the CGI wasn't great, but one of the things that scared me was, like in the first film, there's a similar kind of bit where there's something in the corner and it's just a shadow. It's a lot of your imagination that takes place. But for me, that's what true horror is. For me, I'm like, do not go over there. What's going to come out of that shadow?
Yeah.
So the build up beforehand, that build up is the pure terror for me. That's what really kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah, there's a few things I was quite scared of, and nothing really happened. Like the TP, for example. I won't say what happens, but obviously I was just, even though nothing happened with it, every time they walked past it, I kept thinking something's going to happen with that.
Never getting in a tent again.
As I said a bit earlier, the basement. As soon as they went in there at the start of the film, I thought, I don't really want them going back in there because I know I'm going to jump. But yeah, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5. Basically, it was a good film. Wouldn't go shouting the raves about it. If you want a quick horror film to throw on when you're sat in doing nothing on a Saturday night, it's worth it.
It's worth it. I think that's okay. I think that's a little bit harsh. I think it's a film worth seeing. It's a film worth seeing. But don't expect it to terrify the pants off.
Yeah, definitely worth watching in the cinema. I think it'd be, unless you've got a home surround system. The big noise, the big bangs, the big jumping scenes will work a lot better with loudspeakers, such as the cinema. I think if you watch it at home, you'll kind of get the same thing. It's a good film. It's not great. It's not one of the classics, but it's. Considering some of the horrors that have come out recently, I'd probably put it up there as one of the better ones.
Yeah, that's saying something, isn't it? Really. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Have you seen it? Do you think it's great? Do you think it's pants?
Let us know what you want us to watch next. Any films that you think, even independent films. We're always looking at independent films as well. So let us know. Yeah, I've been Lewis.
Nick.
Lions Den episode number 1.